Aloha everybody and welcome back to Ordinary Adventures.
We just got back from our Hawaii trip and we've gotten a ton of questions from you guys asking about it. Asking, was it worth it to go to Disney's Aulani?
What's it like flying during COVID?
What's the best and worst things you did in Hawaii?
What kind of souvenirs did you get in Hawaii?
How the heck did you guys get to stay at Aulani for under $200 a night? We'll answer all these questions and much more in this video. Come with us on this adventure.
Before we start blabbering on about our Hawaii trip, I just wanted to remind you guys, if you're not subscribed, what are you waiting for? It's free, it's easy. All you gotta do is hit subscribe and you'll always be notified when we post new videos. I think you're gonna want to be subscribed because we might be doing some fun things like pretty soon.
Yeah, and we got a ton of new viewers from this Hawaii trip, so hello.
Hi guys, aloha.
Okay, let's get into it. I broke this down into sections from the questions that you guys asked us on Instagram. Let's start first with Aulani itself. One of the most asked questions is Aulani worth it?
Yes.
Yes.
Yes. A million times yes. I don't know how many times I can say yes. Yes.
Is it worth the regular rate of $600 a night, considering a lot of the activities are extra money? I think that's the real question. It's not, is Aulani worth it, but is Aulani worth $600 a night?
For a few nights, maybe, if you can afford it, and then spend the rest of your time somewhere else.
I don't know. I think $600 a night for a hotel
is crazy.
It's not something we can afford.
Yeah.
And Aulani has been this thing that like we've kind of told ourselves that we never wanted to go, or like we wanted to go to, but we were kind of like, oh, we really don't want to go there because of the price tag.
Expensive. It's so expensive.
That said, there's times of the year where they give discounts, and there's also the trick that we're going to tell you about later in this video. So I wouldn't spend $600 a night, but is it worth spending like $400, $300 a night?
$300, yes. Anything above that, maybe like $350 is where I draw the line.
Is a week long enough for Aulani?
7 days or 10 days? What
a
do you
week
mean
is
by
7
a week?
days.
7 days?
Yeah. No one counts 10 days as a week.
Some do. Or wait, I guess maybe, yeah, you're right.
I was living that island life.
I know. What was I thinking?
I know I said this before, but like when we booked this trip and we didn't have a choice on how many days, like the option was there for 10 days.
Yeah.
I was kind of like, oh, what are we going to do for 10 days? Like, this is a small island.
Yeah.
And then by the end of the trip, I was like, we didn't have enough time. If you're going to stay at Aulani, I think 7 days is longer than you need.
Yeah.
But if you're going to go around the island, you could do 2 weeks. Do you know what I mean?
You could. So spend a few nights at Aulani and then spend the rest of the time maybe somewhere a little bit cheaper, is my advice. That's what I'd do if we went back.
If I wanted to explore the island, should I just stay at another hotel closer to like the places I want to go?
Yes and no. I would say yes because, you know, it would be more affordable that way. But no, the island of Oahu is so small. You could literally go from point A to point B, no matter, I think, where you stay on the island.
The next question, I think, is a question every time I tell people I've been on Disney cruises that love Disney cruises, this is like the first question. Is there too many kids?
I didn't feel that way.
Yeah. And it might be also, our experience is weird because we also went during this weird time. So maybe less families are traveling, but it seemed like a lot of the people were there were locals getting good like local deals, or DVC people because DVC like had the points and they have to go.
Except maybe like one time, like I think when we were filming our live stream in the lazy river was the only time when I was like, these darn kids.
Yeah.
But like no other time did I ever feel that way.
100%. And that leads us into our next question is, was it crowded? And it wasn't, because they like cut down, I don't know what the percentage was of the occupancy of what they cut it down to because of COVID, but it was like, it felt like nobody was there. The only time it felt like there was a lot of people there is after dinner when there would be a line to the elevator because you could only do one party at a time. Is Aulani open to non-hotel guests? Because people saw like us going shopping at the store there, all the Duffy and Friends merch that you were freaking out about. Like, can I go to Aulani and just like shop? Can I use the pool? Yes and no.
Yes, you can go to shop. No, I don't think you could use the pool, and I don't even think you could eat at any of the sit-down restaurants. You might be able to go into like the quick service place because they weren't like checking.
Yeah, I think in
room
normal
numbers
times you can eat at the food places, but normal times you definitely still can't be in the pools.
Yeah.
You should know that if you are a guest coming to the hotel, not as a guest, if you're just a person coming to the hotel to check out the store or eat or something like that, it's $12 for parking for the first hour and $5 each half hour.
Wow.
But you do get complimentary parking or valet up to 2.5 hours if you spend $50 or more. So
Okay, so just go buy $50 worth of Duffy and Olu merch, and then you're fine.
yeah. Or like her, you spend $100.
Yeah. I got some really good deals on the stuff that I got.
Yeah. Does Aulani feel Disney enough? Feels like as much Disney as like maybe if you like went to Animal Kingdom Lodge. That said, it's very authentically Hawaiian. So you get a lot of Hawaiian culture built into this resort thanks to Joe Rohde.
Like at first glance, you look at it and you would never know it was Disney.
Yeah.
And then once you like start to notice the small little details, you can see the Disney magic more and more, if that makes sense.
How many menahune did we end up finding? I would say probably a dozen.
Yeah, we didn't actually keep count.
Yeah.
But we should have, honestly.
We're honestly
We've found
really bad.
more than that, right?
I don't know.
I say at least 20.
20?
Yeah.
And
Out
there's
of 300.
Yeah.
So.
I feel like a lot of them are hidden kind of like low to the ground. Us adults are at disadvantages looking for
I will
menahune.
say, next time we go, it's going to be my mission to find them all.
Things we wish we would have known about Aulani before we went. I think I would have read up more on the history because they normally have like this walking tour that they talk about how the Imagineers made it and the Hawaiian influences and stuff like that. And I felt like I wanted to go in spoiler free, and because of that we didn't get to notice some of the details. What kind of room did you have? We had a DVC Villa Island Garden view room, which meant we got to see like that stage where they usually have the luau.
Yeah, it was actually really nice because we still got to see the ocean. I think no matter where you're facing, it's going to be beautiful. I know everybody wants that like dead on ocean view. But even if you look the other way, the hills are beautiful in the other direction.
Yeah, everywhere in Hawaii is beautiful.
Hawaii is just so beautiful.
Yeah. And I think they have they have a bunch of different other rooms you can get. You can get like a regular room, you can get an ocean room, you can get a pool room, and then you can get what we got, the island room. A lot of people are also asking what's the differences between a DVC villa and a normal hotel room at Aulani. And honestly, while we were there, I couldn't tell you, but I looked this up because people want to know. And the answer is it's about 25 square feet bigger.
Ooh, fancy.
It offers a king-size bed or two
Oh.
queen beds instead of one queen. And there is a bar sink, which we used.
Okay. Oh, yeah, you're right.
And there's also a microwave and a toaster.
Wow.
Yeah, so that's the difference. Which do you like better, Walt Disney World, Disneyland, or Aulani?
Oh my god, you guys, why are you always trying to make us choose? They're all so different. I'm surprised you didn't add Disney Cruise Line to that list.
Yeah, well, that's the next question is Aulani or Disney Cruise?
Oh my god. What? I'm gonna go ahead and say, just because it's the freshest in my mind, as much as I really, really loved our cruise, I think I liked Aulani more just because I enjoyed the food and the culture and the people of Hawaii.
You need to go to Hawaii at least once in your life. So if this is the once in a time vacation, you have to choose either a Disney cruise, Disney World, or Hawaii. I'd say Hawaii. That said, if you're going on a vacation every year, I don't know. Disney World and Disneyland are, I think, theme parks, and there's a lot more to offer than...
Depends on what do you want. You want to relax more with a cocktail in your hand?
Because we just went to Aulani, I think I'd pick Disney Cruise.
Yeah, me too.
And the good thing about that is the food and non-alcoholic drinks are all included.
The food on the Disney cruise is so good too. Don't make me choose. Come on. It just depends on what kind of, Disney vacation you want. If you want to go full throttle or if you want to just chill. Choose. They're all good.
A lot of people wanted to know about COVID and how that impacted our travels. How was flying during the pandemic?
Being on the actual plane itself, perfect, A-okay. I felt totally safe. The only kind of gray area there was the actual airport itself. And I should specify LAX. I felt completely fine at the airport in Oahu.
You know what? I would even say that I was comfortable in LAX. Where I was uncomfortable the most was we took the shuttle from where we parked our car
Oh, yeah.
to the airport.
Okay, yeah.
And there's some people on there that were
Just
not following the rules.
I know, we just kept looking at each other like, oh no, is it the whole time going to be like this? But I would say 95% of people, once we got to LAX, till Hawaii, that whole process, had their masks on perfect.
Is Aulani worth going to during the pandemic, or does it lose some of that Disney magic?
I think it was very magical. If you've watched our videos, I cried multiple times.
Yeah. There are some stuff closed. There is some things, activities you can't do.
It is a more limited experience. And we're not trying to come on here and say, go travel to Hawaii and go to Aulani during a pandemic. By no means. But if you feel comfortable, just know that it is a very safe experience, and there's still a lot, in my opinion, a lot of stuff to do.
I feel like some people are like the people I don't want to be at Walt Disney World with my mask on the entire time. And I get that. It's hot in Hawaii or Florida, and if that's going to ruin that vacation for you,
then stay home.
Stay home. Because if you're going to one of these places, if you're going to Hawaii, you got to follow the rules. Really, I found that around the island, I had heard that they didn't want tourists, but that was not my experience at all, because around the island, when we were following the rules and stuff like that, it felt like we
were local.
Yeah, they were more accepting of us because they saw how much we were respecting.
I feel like the Ohana vibe of Hawaii is very real.
Did COVID negatively impact the trip in any way?
I mean, we just touched on that. The mask, maybe, if that is something that bothers you.
There was some stuff that wasn't open. Some stuff that we would like to go to, like the Polynesian Cultural Center. There was things that we probably would have done, like go to Pearl Harbor or something, but we were afraid there was going to be more crowds, those kind of things.
I don't know. I still feel like we had a super amazing time, and we just kept to ourselves most of the time and just had a blast.
Yeah. That was the great thing about this trip is really it felt like most of the time we were alone by ourselves, either in a car going on these adventures or in our hotel room, or even when we were in the pool, sometimes the pools got credit, but usually when we were down there in a hot tub or something, it was just us.
Nobody there. Yeah.
So, do you have to wear a mask the whole time on the plane, at Aulani, around the island?
The only time that you don't have to wear a mask is when you're eating or when you're in the pool area, because it's a drowning, choking hazard.
Everywhere around the resort, you're expected to wear a mask. Everywhere around Hawaii, at least when we were there, you were expected to wear a mask.
I think it's everywhere.
Unless you're on a beach and there's hundreds of yards of no people, then you're allowed
then
to
it's
take
okay.
off
Then it's
but,
okay.
And we followed that rule to the T.
We did.
There was never a time that we were not wearing a mask when we shouldn't be. It's easy to follow the rules. When we returned to Los Angeles, did we have to quarantine? Yes and no. I think the only time we went out is to pick up our P.O. box when we got back, because we don't want the boxes.
Yeah, we get in trouble if we have too many boxes there.
But aside from that, we were at our house, I think, for 3 weeks or something.
A long time. As you can tell, these Hawaii videos have been slowly coming out, and that was on purpose, so we can quarantine and get the content out to you.
Yeah. Also, LA was in lockdown, so there wasn't much we could do anyways.
Yeah, that's true.
Would we fly Hawaiian Airlines again?
Yes. Loved Hawaiian Airlines. It was clean. The food was delicious. They have Hawaiian music on the monitors, serenading you when you get on the plane. And they facilitated
the place that we went to get our COVID test was exclusive to Hawaiian Airlines, so it was very easy to do that whole thing.
It made it so much easier.
Does Disney provide transportation from the airport to Aulani? I don't believe they do. I don't think there's a Disney Magical Express, which isn't even going to exist in a year in Florida.
Yeah. It's not that far away from the airport, but I could see it being kind of a pretty penny on an Uber ride. But we rented a car just because we didn't want to deal with any of that. And also we were going to explore other places.
Well, that's the next question. If you don't rent a car, will you be stuck at the resort? Or can you make do with Uber/taxi? I would personally rent a car. You could, I guess, Uber or taxi. I don't think I would want to do that during the pandemic.
Yeah, maybe after the pandemic, but not now.
But even then, there's so many great places around the island that I feel like you'll want to drive to. You can rent a car at Aulani. It's about double the price of what if you rented it at the airports. So I don't know. I would just rent a car. And I think we got a really good deal on the car rental.
We did.
We went through Hotwire and did one of those things where you didn't know where you're going to rent a car, but it told you a price or something like that.
It gave you a few choices. It's it could be this one, or this one. Pay this price and find out. Yeah. And I love a mystery bag, so.
And it was $250. So for
10 days.
That's $25 a day.
Yeah.
So not a bad deal.
It was totally worth it. And I think I probably spent $20 in gas.
Now on to Hawaii. People want to know, how did we research our trip? And the answer is, we watched a lot of YouTube videos.
Yeah, we watched a ton of YouTube videos.
I did go to some best of lists. I did go to Yelp and stuff like that. But it seemed like everybody was going like to the same places. Like, everybody's going to Matsumoto. Everybody's going...
We went there.
Yeah. Everybody's going to Dole Plantation.
Everybody's going to Leonard's Bakery.
Yeah.
Which are all places I think you should go.
Expectations versus reality. I'll be honest with you. I had been to Hawaii before for like 2 days. But like when I was there, it was like extremely hot. I don't know what time of year it was. I was there on a set visit. And I was like sweating so much that like the sweat was getting into my eyes and burning my eyes. Like it was...
Seems to happen a lot with you.
Does it?
I'm just kidding.
I don't think it happens
Every
that
time
often.
we go to Walt Disney World, that
Disney
happens.
World too,
Yeah.
it happens. But I don't know. I guess my expectations of reality is it wasn't as hot as I thought it was going to be. It didn't rain as much as I thought it might.
For me personally, I had been to Hawaii once before, so long ago that I barely remember it. And it exceeded, I already knew that I loved it, but it really exceeded my expectations. I was wowed every time I looked out our window. Every time we went anywhere, I just had to like pinch myself and be like, is this like a real place? Like, are we in a simulation right now? Like, what is going on?
Yeah.
It's so beautiful there.
What is the most beautiful place we visited?
That's hard. Really?
Yeah, Hawaii is beautiful.
That's hard.
Everywhere you look, it's beautiful, except for maybe when you get down to like Honolulu.
It's still beautiful there. What are you talking about? I really struggled with this, like deciding what part of the island was my favorite. And I think my favorite side was the side that Kuloa Ranch was on, which I think is the east side.
I think so.
The rainy side, the more lush green side. I mean, the whole island's green.
Yeah.
But this felt like, it literally felt like a tropical rainforest.
I think that would be it for me.
Really?
Would I want to live there? I don't think so. I think
No.
I would want to live more on like
Yeah.
the North Shore. Like North Shore was totally on my
North Shore was
vibes.
popping.
Yeah.
Well, that's funny because when we were driving like through these areas, I'm like, which part do you want to live in? And when we were like on the east side, you're like, there's not enough to do here. We'd have to live on the North Shore.
Yeah, totally. Is there anything we recommend not doing? It's worth going to Dole Plantation, but I'm not sure, unless you have like little kids, I'm not sure that train, the Pineapple Express, is worth going on.
That being said, I don't want to put it down. It was still, if you're going to Oahu, I recommend going.
Yeah, I don't feel like there was any food that we didn't like. There wasn't...
All the food we loved. That's the problem. Even the luau, like, I would even do that again. Like, that was amazing. And it was at a water park. Like, who would have thought?
Was there a decent amount of non-fishy foods? Well, I'll say it this way. I do not eat seafood. And when I say I don't eat seafood, that means like I don't eat shrimp, I don't eat lobster.
He doesn't eat any of it.
I was able to survive and I was able to eat well almost everywhere this entire trip.
This was like a little teaser for if we ever go to Japan.
Oh no.
There's a lot of fish there,
See,
too.
that's going to be the problem. I don't know if
We'll
I'm
make
gonna
it
be-
work. We'll make it work. Don't worry.
How was weather? Was going in December the best time? Well, we don't know what the best time is because we've only been there that one time. Well, I guess we've been one other time, but I don't remember it.
It was amazing. It was perfect.
Yeah.
It wasn't too hot. It never was cold. It wasn't too humid. And it was just absolutely perfect. No?
Yeah. Does the peterfish migrate to cooler climates in the summer?
Yeah, probably.
Probably.
Because as you know, the peterfish, sometimes he gets sweat in his eyes.
Yes, that is true.
That's why they're endangered.
Yeah, very true. Wait, we're endangered? I thought I was just rare. I was a rare catch. That's what you told me.
Okay, next question.
Do Mai Tais taste better in Hawaii?
Yes.
Yes. Without a doubt.
100% yes.
Now for what you want to know, what we bought.
Yeah, what we bought. I hate to be the bearer of bad news. We didn't really get that much purely because we were trying to control ourselves. But also, I had no room in my suitcase.
And also, like, I feel like a lot of people watch these videos and you're freaking out over all this merchandise in, like, the Disney store or World of Disney. And what people don't know is aside from, like, a Spirit jersey or a Loungefly, we don't end up buying much.
Yeah, I usually don't buy, like, anything on our, our merch search videos. But I did, I bought a few things. I think you guys could, like, guess what I got. I think probably the two most important things that I got is I added Cookie Ann and Olu Mill to my Duffy and Friends collection. These were like the main items that I wanted because these are things that you can only get in Japan or you can only get in Aulani, and now apparently you could get them at the Polynesian Resort at Walt Disney World.
You could have just went to Florida.
I know.
The only thing I bought actually on the entire trip was that spirit jersey that you saw from Aulani. It's this blue, it has a neon yellow and green. It says
Aulani.
Aulani.
Hawaii, Ko'olina. I just got the white Olu spirit jersey with those little ukulele on the front. And then on the back has a rainbow and it says Aulani. And it has a little Olu Mill on there. There were so many to choose from. It really was tough, but you know, this is the one that I ended up going with. People are like, she said she didn't buy anything. I had to get the lounge fly. Like, this was like my bucket list item, and I was so happy that they had it. I also got the chip wishable. I opened this on our video, and the Alex and Annie Duffy and Shelly Mae bracelet, which I also featured in our resort tour video. So that's all I got at Aulani. I got one more thing, the Leonard's Bakery cup. This was like $6. And I don't know, I just think it's really cute. I don't know why I was like attracted to this cup. So that's it. I feel like this sounds really cheesy, but like our videos are like the memory.
Yeah.
Going on the trip itself is the memory. These are just like fun little perks.
Oh, speaking of the memory, can you pass me
the
other one thing I think I bought?
Yeah, we shouldn't have bought this.
This is the picture from the luau.
Yeah, and to be honest, the only reason we got this is because we were going to use it for the thumbnail, and then I don't think we even ended up using it for the thumbnail.
Yeah. I'm not sure it's worth the price that they were charging there, but...
It's not, but we're suckers. We had a few Mai Tais in us, and we were like, sure, why not? Which always happens, right?
Yeah. We're about to get to the good stuff, but before we do, please, if you're still watching, comment below and tell us what's your favorite video, what is your favorite moment, what is something that you didn't like that we did. It's good to know for future videos because we're gonna be taking future trips and stuff.
Yeah. Please don't put the chili water part. Put the Peter fish part. That was your favorite part.
Okay, speaking of favorite, everybody want to know what's the best, what's the worst. So, what is the best thing we did?
That's hard. Toss up between the Jurassic Park tour or I think snorkeling a Rainbow Reef for me.
For me, it's the Jurassic Park tour. I think that was just such a beautiful morning and
an amazing day.
Favorite food?
I should have prepared for this.
I think for me, it was that burrito at Konos that one morning. It was just so incredible.
Everything that day, the garlic shrimp from Giovanni's Shrimp Truck, and then combined with like the shaved ice.
What would you have done differently? I think I would have gone another day out exploring the island and eating food.
Yeah.
Best budget-friendly adventure. I would honestly say the food tour days. Because the food tour days, like, we spent the whole day going around the island, having fun, seeing, like, the beach from Lost.
Yeah, going to beaches. Those are free. And
it didn't end up being that expensive because the food around the island is pretty affordable, even at these places that attract.
And we were splitting everything, so.
Yeah. Someone asked regular costs versus what we paid. So regular cost is about $600 a night. And what we paid was $190 a night. So that's like $5,500 for the Aulani stay if it was regular. And what we paid is $1,700.
Yeah, which is amazing. Like, I know that's still a lot of money, but we were there 10 nights at a Disney.
9 nights.
9 nights at a Disney, like, premium resort. So, we got a really good deal.
A lot of people want to know the total expense for the trip. I know I said in one of the early vlogs, I was like, guess how much we're going to spend, and we'll give a prize to the person who's closest. Unfortunately, I did not keep track of things as well as I should, so I don't have a total cost, and we can't give away a prize. I apologize.
Your prize is the gift of this video.
But I'll tell you some of the costs. So the hotel was $1,710. Our COVID tests were $90 each. The plane flights were $500 each. The car rental and gas combined was like $280. The airport parking in LAX was $125. So that's about $3,300 before we actually get to Hawaii. And then when we were in Hawaii, we spent about $1,700. What you need to know there is that almost $700 of that $1,700
was the Jurassic Park and the luau.
Yeah. So if you didn't go to those things, a lot cheaper.
Yeah, a lot cheaper.
I would say it's probably around like $5,000 the whole trip. Is it expensive?
Yes.
I will say this, that when we got this huge deal on this hotel, I was expecting that we were going to this trip was going to cost us so little and it was going to be an amazing amount of saying oh my God, guys, we were able to do Hawaii for $2,000 or, something weird like that. I think when we were there, we kept being oh, we need the best seats for the luau. We're filming this for YouTube. I think if you were going to do the luau, you don't need the best seats.
Exactly.
You could be further back. How did we get such a good deal on the hotel room? This is the most asked question. So
break it down.
This isn't something that necessarily you will be able to replicate. So I'm sorry to give the bad news.
But you could come close.
So what happens is with Disney Vacation Club is this thing is a timeshare in Disney. There's Vacation Club resorts that are in Hawaii. There's some in Florida. There's some in California. There's some all over the place. What it is you buy in your timeshare. If you don't know what a timeshare is, look it up. But basically you have these points. Every year you can spend them to get your own vacation at your home resort or one of the extended resorts. Now the Disney Vacation Club members, I think, booked vacations for 2020 before they knew what was coming.
Yeah.
So all these people had vacations booked, and there's websites where you can actually, if you are a DVC member with a vacation or even points, you can sell them to other members or people that are not members. So what was happening is we were considering a trip to Walt Disney World. We were looking at these websites. There's various websites. If you want to, I'm not going to name specific ones, but if you go to Google and you search DVC confirmed reservation resale or something, you'll find there's 3 or 4 different sites that do it. We were looking for Walt Disney World because we wanted to get a cheap, there was Animal Kingdom Lodge.
$100 a night.
Yeah, Animal Kingdom Lodge, which is normally $500.
Yeah, a lot.
Yeah. One of our friends was going to go to Hawaii, and he was telling us about this COVID test, and that sounded safe. One time when I was searching for these things, Aulani popped up, and it was one of these deals where someone had a vacation booked through Disney Vacation Club, and it was getting up to the point, it was 2 weeks before, and they lowered the price that they wanted.
Yeah, that's the thing about these sites is you have to keep checking them the closer and closer you get to the vacation that you want to take, because a lot of the time they will they're already drastically dropped, but they will drastically drop it.
So when I said it's not an easy thing to replicate, it's because I'm sure there was a lot of people with the reservations during COVID that were trying to sell off their reservations before the end of 2020, and it's probably not as dire to sell things off.
But the deals are still good. I look every now and again, and not just for Aulani, for all the DVC resorts.
Yeah. In number 2, as you insinuated, you can buy someone's DVC reservation for a couple months from now, but you're not going to get that good of a deal. The good deal comes when it's a week out or 2 weeks out, which I know a lot of people can't. People with families and kids and jobs.
Yeah.
Can't wait that to the last minute to pull the trigger on.
I will say it was kind of stressful. I think we booked and planned this trip with maybe a week's notice. That aspect, I feel it made it kind of stressful.
Yeah.
Trying to, get our COVID test, book this, book that. What if we are positive on the COVID test, but we already paid for everything else? What would we do then?
That was really stressful.
That was the most stressful part, honestly.
Yeah, and with Walt Disney World, if you were going to do this at Walt Disney World, if you're getting reservations that soon, a week out, then you haven't made park passes. You haven't bought tickets. Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, is it something that you can replicate? Yes, but you kind of have to be very last minute to make such a great deal.
You have to be willing to go with the flow.
Yeah. That said, I've still been looking on that site. And last week I saw an Aulani that was $200 a night. So
we're going back? Surprise! No, just kidding.
So you also have to keep at it. It's not something I feel a lot of people are watching this and they're going to go to these sites and search and then find that there's not any deals as great as what we got. And the thing is, you got to understand is we kept on going back multiple times a day, looking until one dropped.
Yeah.
Before we go, I want to thank some of our Patreons. Without you guys, these videos would not be possible, and that includes
Tiffany Lopez and Alyssa and Jordan Grubbs,
Emma and JD Cook. Thank you guys.
Thank you so much, seriously.
If you have missed any of our Hawaii videos, then what are you doing? We'll put the playlist right over there.
Yeah, go now. Go watch them all.
Watch them all. Thanks for watching, everybody. Mahalo.
Mahalo. Aww.
And we'll see you
on the next adventure. And that concludes Ordinary Adventures, the Hawaiian series. We didn't even plan that, but I really am going to cry.
I know.
Editing all the rest of these videos have made me very emotional.
Yeah.
Thanks for watching, everybody. Goodbye.
Bye.